Right, this is a review of my Saab 9.3 Turbo 2001 model. Done a few things to it to make it a bit more trustworthy and things like that, and I think it's working pretty well, as good as it could get, really. It's the aero model, so it's got a sort of body kit connected to it, and it's also got a Hirsch suspension kit, which lowers it even further, probably a little bit too much, makes it look quite good, but it is a lot of, I think, harder suspension than Saabs are really meant to have, really. It's been kept garage by the previous owner. It's done not that many miles, only 100,000, which seems to be correct according to the logbooks and things. Isn't much of a mileage for one of these cars. Comes, well, I say, with a very good climate control in this car. It's very intelligent. It's able to turn on and off when you need to. It biases the heat to the interior of the car rather than the engine, like on other cars, so it warms up quite quickly in here, and it's very powerful as well. When I first got it, one of the problems with these cars is, and maybe other cars, is that the air conditioning pipe at the front goes right past the turbo, and the turbo pipe, really, and they're beginning to touch it, and then the aluminium pipe had worn through and broken, so it wasn't keeping gas. So I had to get a pipe replacement from Germany, and pipe that in and replace all the seals. They were getting a bit old, and have it regassed, and it's very good air conditioning. Probably the best part of the car is that. Well, not maybe the best part, but it's good to have that. It's necessary for it working, really, being an air sort of not fully sealed car that these tend to be. The radio I did update to a modern sort of sat-nav MP3 player thing, which easily sort of plugs in there, and I've got all the cabling, as you see, all the sensors here, and there's a camera on the back of the car. But where it's all sort of street parking, I found I was sort of a bit concerned on it making it much more of a theft or risk of theft, really, with the roof on these vehicles, the soft top. So I've gone back to the original cassette radio, which is, I did buy a CD one, but they are keyed to the car, the radio units. So I'm back with a cassette, which works fine as a radio, a sort of DAB, not an RDS radio. And I've had the blue Saab adapter that some intelligent person has created that takes the place of the CD changer in the boot, and allows you to connect to your phone via Bluetooth and sort of play music from your phone. I think use it as a phone as well, and other features, and also the steering controls work, which the sat nav I got did work with the steering controls, but everything works properly with this radio, and the Bluetooth to your phone is all I really need, really, and it just looks better, everything looking sort of custom built for the car, really. I do find these cars, and what I like about older cars particularly, is the narrowness. They're so much more narrow than a modern car that I've got at the moment, which means parking. The length of it isn't really an issue. It's just because it's narrow, you can fit into spaces so much easier. It's okay, a bit tighter together, but it's not a significant issue, really. Other things with the car, so it's got heated seats, traction control. It's got electric roof, which I'll open in a moment, and it's got the leather seats with the sort of increased bolster on the. I think that's an aero thing, where these are a lot thicker than they are on normal cars. These seats are electric and heated, with the driver's one also electrically heated and with memory, which is fine. I've sort of treated the leather. It's not in too bad condition. I'll show you the driver's bolster, which is the only one that really wears in any car like that. The other reason why I like these Saabs is space in the back. You really do have rear space that can accommodate adults sitting in the back as well as in the front. You don't really lose anything in comfort in this car compared to many convertibles in the back. It is a proper four-seater. Well, I'll take the roof down now. It's a semi, like some Audis, it doesn't have electronic part here. You have to unplug it there. Then there's it there. And it goes down. I don't know the folds in this. I don't know how much it's meant to droop in if this is a problem with it, or it's just how it is on the roof. One problem these cars have, well, when I got it, it did tend to leak a little around the doors and sills and things like this. Found the key thing is to clear out all of these gutters. This gutter that goes along here is absolutely necessary to clear that out, and the drain plug that's in here that goes all the way down there. All the gutters around here, make sure they're all clean and water can leave in the planned way rather than through the window and things like that. Now it works fine. I've not had a leak in this car since sorting that out. Right, let's get out. See there. So the area suspension, they've got the Hirsch suspension, which does, and the 17-inch wheels. They're pretty well max you can get in this car. It sits pretty low, so you do have to watch curbs a bit. It does make it look pretty sharp, though. I would say, as Saabs go, it looks as good as they get, really. Other things on the wheels on the back are slightly larger because you can fit them on. These are 215s on the front. This is larger. Yes, I'm just doing a second part of the video. Somebody was just admiring the car and had to stop. It's got the fog lights on the front. There's a little crack on the, because of this lowness, you can see there where I've gone over a curb and it's cracked that little section there. It's back in place as it stands now. So it does look pretty sharp. The air conditioning changes just a heater mode really when it's in this mode, and just push out a lot and does keep you quite warm. I had to respray this part here because it all gone lacquery, all the lacquer come off it. It looks alright-ish, but I'm sure a professional could do a better job. Well, and the other thing, of course, with this Saab is it's actually got a proper boot. It's not air conditioned. You don't get on a convertible. It's actually got space in the boot, and even more with the roof up, you can pull this up. So it goes quite far back. Actually, it's a reasonable size, which is another advantage of this Saab, really. I put a new electric thing that had stopped working, and also another complete exhaust, which was a good grand's worth of the catalyzer. That didn't come cheap. Engine wise, it's had quite a lot done to it. We're getting a lot of leaves as it's autumning into the car. These engines, right? It's had a full service history, so the oil is really good in it. It's had an oil change, so obviously the new filter, air filter, oil filter have all been done, and particularly coolant. Make sure you get a coolant done on the car. That's one of the most important things over the oil. So it's working functional, so another new battery. I don't know if you can see down there, that's the new air conditioning pipe that does run quite close to the turbo, but it's now got all heat covering on it. It's hopefully protect it from that happening in the future. Another Hirsch thing is this structure going across there to give it a bit more structural rigidity. And also, if you see there, that little thing there is this thing that I believe this car's got problems with the steering rack coming detached. So this add-on is meant to hold things in place a little bit more thoroughly to reduce that or remove that problem. Another issue with these cars is the auxiliary belt. This pulley here, this is the tensioner, you can see there. I've replaced that. Not the main problem, but there's just below it is a pulley, just a rotating one that needed replacing. That can seize up. That's all these cars, and cause the belt to crack and cause everything. The big tongue really, so that's all done. It sounds a lot quieter as well. Replaced the direct cassette unit with a new one. The particular NSK spark plugs have been put in there as well. It's running very smoothly. Yeah, the clutch was changed by the previous owner. You can't see the old gearbox in there. Engine just looked like it's fine really. It's quite whiny when you start. I don't know why it is. I changed the oil in the gearbox, and it does. It's got a whine to it for the first like few hundred yards, and then that goes away. Which I don't know. One day if I keep it, I'll stick and use another gearbox and get that refurbished. But it's only for a few hundred yards, and then it's perfectly fine. It seems to need to warm up. That's the engine. There's also one other thing it's had is it's been remapped by this Hirsch team on the car, so it's been up to I think 205 horsepower. Around that is the standard aero package. This one has been boosted up to 240 or 250, which makes it a sort of, I don't know, probably a 6 second to 60 if you dare do that, but it probably is a little bit too much power for this car really. As I say, I think it's based on a Cavalier, but and there's very few parts that are Cavalier in it. It's mainly just some parts of the suspension, and I think the rear, towards the rear, it hasn't got as good suspension as maybe the 900s did, because it's partly Cavalier. It does get very leery when you give it some beans, and it has quite a powerful car now, really quite fast. Overall, I think out of the models of Saabs, I would say this is the best of the one. The later models are far more based on General Motors sort of Vectra C sort of stuff underneath them, whereas this is a B or Cavalier. It's much more there's less of it in there. There's very little in here. One of the problems that got into trouble, I think, Saab is using so little on this car. General Motors parts, the seat, everything really still looks very Saab inside it, which you tend to lose on the later models. I find, or found, or think, or feel. Anyway, there it is. My Saab 900. Is it probably the best Saab 900 in existence? Oh, that's the other thing underneath. It's rust free underneath. That's another big issue with this one. Which, but anyway, I think this probably is. Would you say the best Saab 900 in existence? Could you get a better one? Have you got a better one? You have to try and prove it.